Roger Jackson, okay, we've been wondering, right, what's going to happen with Roger Jackson. And it turns out he's finally been charged. We know what the charges are. He's being charged with a felony, battery, and then misdemeanor battery as well. One count of each. So he's facing two charges. Here's some screenshots from an LA Times article that I read it on. It says Jackson will be charged with one count of felony battery that caused serious bodily injury and one count of misdemeanor battery in connection with an incident at a KnokX Pro Wrestling Academy event in Sun Valley on August 23rd, according to a spokesperson for the LA County District Attorney's Office. Prosecutors will also seek a sentencing enhancement because Jackson allegedly caused Stuart Smith to suffer great bodily injury. Smith, known as Syko Stu, in the ring lost several teeth and suffered a laceration to his lip during the attack, which saw Jackson body slam the wrestler and then punch him in the head and face more than 20 times. And here's that big lift off. And here's a slam followed by punches. So yeah, there's going to be a sentencing enhancement, I guess, that they're pursuing. And I bet you, you know what, I bet you Rampage Jackson is regretting calling for jail time for his son now. You know? That's not even, like, that's not to say I condone the shit, but it's just, like, fuck, like, it's not my job, like, shit, like, let's just see if he deserves jail time. Like, that's the thing, like, this is the court's job, like, that's how I always go with it. Like, it's not for me to fucking wish it, let alone being, you know, Rampage's father and shit like that, or Roger's father. And yes, I'll accept it if you guys say I'm copping out by saying it's the court system's, you know, decision. But, like, you know, it's just a gray, you know, it's very gray. It's very gray. Pro wrestling event, you know, we got to keep in mind if Syko Stu never even touched Raja, this would have never happened in the first place, right? Raja's going to go on a defense of, you know, I thought that this is what wrestling is, right? You mean to tell me this isn't what it is? I was in character, or I just didn't understand, right? We got to see if the wrestlers and the whole academy will go ahead and testify, you know, because who's really pressing charges, right? The state. So the state's going to put all this together without the cooperation of the wrestling academy. Let's see how that works. Will they cooperate or not? That's why it's like there's no point in, like, you know, demanding this kid gets jail time. There's so much ifs and shit like that. Now, as a father, you got to have his back through thick and thin. Can't wish a week of jail time on your son. It's your job to get him out, regardless of right or wrong. Yeah, let me tell you guys something, because this brings up a great point. It just reminded me of something. When I was younger, I got, like, fucking, I was out late in high school and shit like that, and I was parked in this, like, like, not illegal parking spot, but, like, I shouldn't have been parked at this pool overnight, right? And I was in my car drinking and shit like that, kicking it. The rent-a-cop, the person who drives around, the security patrol guy, saw me in my car kicking it, called the cops, and then the real cops came. While the real cops were coming, I was like chucking beer cans up into the bushes, so I didn't get charged with anything, you know, or get in trouble. And then they ended up calling my parents and shit. My mom and my dad came to pick me up, and my dad, like, in front of the cops, right? He had my back. Like, he's like, you good, making sure I'm all good, not taking the cop side, not yelling at me and shit like that. When we got in private, when we got in the car the next morning and shit like that, that's where, like, you know, one-on-one, father to son, I got the shit talk, right? I got the what the fuck you doing, like, you're a dumbass and shit like that, right? But in the public eye, even in front of the officers, my dad took my side, you know? And for Rampage to go on Ariel's show and then say what he said, yeah, I thought it was a huge cop-out. Like, a huge cop-out, like, just appeasing the people.